Hi, and welcome to College to Consulting. Today I'm going to go over frameworks. I'll give an introduction to what they are, say why they are important, and then give an example. Okay, so frameworks. What is a framework? Well, a framework is a guide to show what inputs you need to solve the case and the way in which you plan to solve it. Think about it like this. It's a movie preview. It's a movie preview that you're going to show your interviewer to show what areas you want to look at in order to solve the story of the case, but without giving too much detail away. So why is it even important? I will argue that a framework is the most important part of the case, and there are several reasons why. As I mentioned, it's a movie preview that shows where you want to go in order to solve the case and what components you're going to look at to do so. Secondly, it allows you to get validation from your interviewer, allows you to see where the interviewer wants you to go. For instance, if you want to look at component X, Y, and Z for a case, and you present it to your interviewer might say X and Y sound really, really good, Z, not so much. What this does is it allows you to focus on the components you need and to reduce the amount of focus and time on components you don't need. For instance, now you know I don't need to look at component Z. Great. I can spend more time investing in X and Y in order to dig for the data I need and to solve the case from there. It also allows you to appear very structured and hypothesis driven. So during a normal interview, what will happen is your interviewer will present you with the prompt. You'll take down some notes, and then you'll ask, can I take a minute to collect my thoughts? Normally, the interviewer will say yes. During this time, you're writing out your structure or your framework, and you then will present it to your interviewer. Once you present it, you get the yes and no's from your interviewer, and you get to know if it's a good framework or guide to go down, or if you need to tweak it in any manner. But it's better to do it up front so you know where to go. And this is how you are able to solve a case in 5 minutes. Because you have a game plan that you agreed upon with your interviewer, you know exactly what to do. And the rest of the case is just about plugging and chugging or finding the data that you need to, but at least you know the areas where you need to look. Okay? Let's do an example. Let's say this is this case that I get. Why is company X losing profit, and how can we fix it? Okay, so I'm going to draw out my sheet of paper. At the top, I'm going to label the sheet of paper framework. I'm going to put this basically in front of my interviewer. Here's what I would say. I want to look at the market. I want to know what is the product that we're making and how does it relate to other products, similar products in the market? What's the competition like? What is the total market size for this product? And what is company X's market share? How do they stack up compared to everyone else? Next, because this is a profitability question, I want to look at the components of profitability. I want to look at revenue. I want to look at what are the revenue streams, what are the profit margins on each product, meaning that once we find the product with the highest profit margin, we should push that most to customers and consumers. How has revenue changed year over year? Has it grown? Has it been shrinking? What's going on? I also want to look at costs. With costs, I want to know what are the fixed costs for company X, the variable costs, the change in costs year over year, and the rank of costs. This will allow me to determine which costs seem very out of line and can be rationalized or cut, and which costs seem pretty standard to the industry and can't really be changed. Lastly, I want to look at volume. And here I want to know what is the current growth strategy, how can that be fixed, how is company X acquiring more business, more customers, etc. And I want to know, are there opportunities to scale, to save costs, or to improve the overall process. So this is a very high-level framework of how I plan to solve a profitability question. I have the market addressed, the components of a profitability equation, which are revenue minus cost times volume. That's all been included. as well as having specific inputs that I want to look at for each of the components that make up profitability. You present this to your interviewer, you ask, does this sound good? Your interviewer and yourself, you negotiate on what sounds good or what doesn't. They say yes, then you're good to go. And now you can actually start the case. So for additional material, we have a dissection of how frameworks are even built for any type of framework and the types of frameworks. All right, I'll see you later with C2C.